What is going on, guys? Jack here. I don't really know what to say. What a night. What a night of action. We are for the fans. We're going to be reviewing that action from last night. I'm still in disbelief. Ben doesn't know what to say for once. Should be an interesting show. We'll also be looking forward to today's late game. Let's get straight into it.
It's for the fans. It's me, Ben. My co-host Jack's here. Jack, don't say a word. Baby, I'm ready to go. Sorry, Jack. I've ruined the start of the show, haven't I? There, really. How you doing, Jack?
I'm good, thanks, Ben. How are you doing?
It's for the fans.
It is.
And Brazil have taken one hell of Ronaldo, Romario, other people in Brazil. Your boys took one hell of a beating, didn't they?
Honestly, I don't even know where to begin.
Let's start.
I can't. What happened?
Well, I'll tell you.
Did I
what
dream?
Oscar
Is this
popped up.
real? Is this real?
Oscar ruined everything, Jack. Manuel Neuer was having the most fantastic evening of his entire night. He had a deck chair, he had a paper, he had a pint, and he was going, "Yeah, go on, the Fred, do your worst." And Oscar ruined it.
I don't know how to feel. Could anyone predict this? Like, I predicted 3-0.
Well, we'll get it out of the way, Jack. Nobody predicted 7-1. Nobody wins the fine selection of DVDs. Once again, they're still up for grabs. We'll come to that later. So many things have happened in one game. Like, we've had games that have been quite action-packed. We've not had... This is the first time I predicted a 1-0.
Yeah. You keep predicting the high-scoring games, and then the one time where you predict a low-scoring one, it finishes 7-1.
I've got a plan for today. Don't worry. I'm going to guarantee goals.
I don't know where to begin it. I literally have no clue. Usually with these games, we'll kind of discuss a little schedule beforehand. Me and you both kind of sat down in the call, giggled like little schoolgirls, and went, "Yeah, we'll just ramble." I mean,
right?
Where do you begin?
What
happened? I don't know. Where am I?
I've been calling for Bernard to start all World Cup. That paid off. Germany set up much like they did in the last game. Brazil started the game pretty well. Like, first 10 minutes, you thought, cool, I tweeted out that they're going for this, and it's either going to come back and bite them extremely hard, or they're going to... I don't know what would happen, actually. I didn't have an alternative. I just thought Brazil were asking for what happened, and it actually happened. Because they were saying to Germany, come on then, and Germany hit them.
Yeah.
And so we'll start off. The corner came in, Muller not being marked. Why bother marking one of the best World Cup players the last 10 years?
We talked about the Golden Boot potential. Muller's got a really good chance of winning it now.
Well, yeah, he's got to get one in the final, but he might have to get 2 in the final if he's on 5, because Rodriguez's goals per minute is very good in comparison.
Well, Schürrle and Kroos are in it now.
Is Schürrle in it? How many Schürrle?
I don't even know. He must have a few. I mean, he got 2 yesterday, didn't he? Can I just say that on yesterday's show, I said that if Brazil won, the game would be won if Brazil had players turn up and were able to match Germany across the park, they might stand a chance.
Yeah.
They didn't match them anywhere.
No.
that was the fundamental issue, is what I've decided.
Muller, I want to say this. I did tweet it, but it's hilarious. At about 5 minutes in, my dad does what he always does when it's 0-0 5 minutes in. He looks over at me and he goes, "It's got 0-0 written all over this, hasn't it?" And I look back and go, "You can say that now because it's 0-0. At half an hour gone, it was 5-0. I looked at my dad and went, "Yeah, good 0-0, this, isn't it?" And he just looked at me blankly and was like, "Yeah, I guess I was wrong on that one." Closer, he was the next to score.
Can I just say that was it a 6-minute period where 4 goals went in? Usually we do a goal-by-goal review. I've seen it twice. I still don't know what happened. I've got to be honest, all the goals just merge into one. There was a few times where the ball seemed to be... If you play FIFA, you'll know what a sweaty goal is. But Germany were just kind of knocking it around. It was like a little 5-a-side game.
Let's try and do it. So Closer gets 3. He has 1 shot, well saved by Cesar, actually. Poor finish, but a decent save. And then he pops in the rebound and becomes, in the backyard, Ronaldo was in the stadium. Closer breaks his record and amasses 16 World Cup goals. It's funny, isn't it? Because he's not had the best club career. He's not really seen as a legend of the game, a la Messi, Ronaldo right now. But 16 World Cup goals over the course of 4 World Cups is mighty impressive. And we should give him some credit.
Incredible. and where he scored them from as well. Like, he's never scored a screamer.
No.
I think his longest range effort is from the penalty spot, which says a lot, really.
Does he actually shoot from distance?
No. Doesn't need to.
Does he just let out wide and know that he's going to be in the area somewhere?
He just knows. He's like a fox in the box. I hate that saying so much. Right, who was the third goal? Because I'm relying on you here, because I don't know.
The third goal was beautiful until Schürrle scored that beauty towards the end. It was kind of Kroos on the half volley with his left foot, just kind of nonchalantly thwacked it in.
Yeah.
And at that point, all hell had broken loose already. Kroos, 2 minutes later, once again, I think it's some nice link-up play with Khedira. Maybe is that the goal that Fernandinho is just not. That's a good Paulinho impression, and just nothing happens. Kroos pops up, another goal. That's 4-0. And I'm not joking. I'm not just saying this to slag off a certain fan base in England, but it did feel like watching Liverpool versus Arsenal. Like, I had that feeling of, because I remember in that game I thought this could be 10, and I was thinking this could be 10, and imagine. Anyway, and then Khedira scored. They weren't even finished, Jack. It was
ruthless, wasn't it? There was a real chance in that game at 4-0, at 3-0, that they could just take their foot off the pedal. Germany, they didn't care.
No, but like, if there's one team you want to sort of, there's one team you want to collapse against. It's not the Germans, because the Germans will go, okay, well, we're just going to keep going. And like, they kept going for 80 minutes. And even in the last 10, they were kind of like, all right, fine, whatever. Also had a good chance, but he scuppered that. Anyway, Khedira scored. When Khedira's scoring, you know everything's gone wrong. We'll talk about why Brazil was so bad in a minute. I'm just going through the goals. We're getting them out of the way. This could be 20 minutes. Then Schürrle scored.
Schürrle not.
Schürrle did. And then he scored another one, which is it was a corker, goal of the game. If it was a winner in any game, it's one of the goals of the tournament for me. Volleyed in off the bar.
Can I just say, you mentioned Neuer like having a deck chair and stuff like. What was the equivalent for the Julio Cesar?
He was, you know,
he must have been bloody Kroos with his defence.
You know, what the? Okay,
I'm sorry.
I didn't see that. I literally didn't see that coming.
I'm just working out the puns today.
You deserve an Oscar for that, and he completed the route. He scored after 90 minutes, and it got the biggest cheer of the whole game. Okay, so we'll start from front to back. Fred got a lot of abuse, didn't he?
I feel sorry for Fred. Because it's not your fault when you lose 7-1 as a striker. It's not. You cannot boo. He might have played crap all tournament, but to boo him, I mean, the fans' reaction throughout the game, it kind of went from tears to it was like the 5 stages of grief.
They were like, they wanted a scapegoat, and all of a sudden there were so many scapegoats they couldn't actually pick on one.
Fred does look a bit like a goat. But no, for me, the way the fans change throughout the game. So it started off with them being all optimistic. They conceded 3, tears started. At 5-0, they just started applauding the Germans.
Yeah, at 7-0, they were olaying the Germans.
It's just like...
So you don't think Fred was to blame at all? You think he blamed
you could blame him, certainly. But, I mean, I don't know if you've seen his heat map of where he touched the ball. His 5 kickoffs was more touches than he had anywhere else on the park.
That's not that surprising. We mentioned pre-game that we thought William would start. I wanted to see Bernard start. I didn't think he would. He did, and he didn't have any impact on the game. Once again, not really his fault.
Did any Brazilian have an impact on the game that was positive? I should say that, because there's plenty of negative impacts.
Hulk was kind of the same. Hulk had one of his Hulk games where he did a few bits which you thought, that was quite good, and then, that wasn't very good. Moving backwards... I'm just going to miss out the midfield because they weren't there in the game, so I'm not going to talk about them now. Apart from Oscar, who got a goal. Well done.
My favourite stat of this game is the fact Brazil had more shots than Germany.
Yeah, yes, they did.
And they had more attacking third passes.
They had more corners and everything. This doesn't make any sense. Anyway, but the Germans are just ruthless as anything, aren't they? Terrifying. Right, we'll start with Marcelo. He's a peculiar footballer. He plays for Real Madrid.
You wouldn't have known it, would you? I mean,
Felipe Luiz must be Devo.
At 7-0 up, he was still giving away the ball. I'm whipping up his stats now so I can tell you how bad he was.
Oh, good. Start with Marcelo for me.
Marcelo.
How bad was he?
41 passes out of 53.
That's not awful. It's not good, but it's not awful.
I mean, actually looking at it, he didn't give the ball away a lot, but then the stats don't really tell me where they were defensively, which was the big issue. You almost wanted Delia Smith to come on and start kind of going, where are you at the Brazilians at half-time?
Okay, well, obviously they were without Thiago Silva. That is quite clearly one huge hole to fill.
I mean,
Dante could not fill it.
Well, we said, didn't we? Or I said yesterday, like, I'm really worried for Brazil's discipline at the back because I felt like Thiago Silva was the voice of reason. That voice was gone. There was no voice. There was no voice.
There was a little voice on David Luiz's shoulder. Go on, go forward again. Go on. And then there's Dante behind him going, David, come back, mate. David, get back here. No, David, go on.
David Luiz does look a bit like a woman. You could barely... I wish
What's wrong with you today?
No, I was about to lead it into a pun.
Oh, God, he looks like a woman.
You could... Wait, I wish you could hear her. Kadira. I wish you could hear her. Sorry.
Loser. Dante was trying to do the job of two men all game. And that is because... We'll leave him until the end, actually. Cesar didn't have a hope with any of them, really.
There was one, actually. I think it was the fourth goal where he could have actually saved it. And no one picked up on this. He kind of just watched it go in. At that point, his body language... I think he was getting his own deck chair out. I've got to be honest, I think he thought at that point, it's over now.
Maicon had a similar performance to Marcelo,
Maicon kept wandering inside. I don't know if anyone noticed this. I've seen his average position. He was playing at right centre-back. I think he was trying to make up for the man who should not be named.
Right. David, let me talk to it. Yeah, I know. I've decided to call him David.
PSG, as someone tweeted us saying, they're looking for their receipt right now.
Well, what PSG have done is they've not bought a centre-back. They've seen a centre-back sort of advertise. You know when you buy clothes and you get them in the wrong size or something?
Yeah.
They've put in CB centre-back. Right, well, we'll get that. And what they've got is a CAM. They've got a central attacking midfielder. That's what they've... Or wherever you want. He's the first centre-back I've ever seen have a free role. Now, is Scolari saying to him, just do what you want, mate. You're the game changer here.
He kind of just wandered, didn't he?
Every time he got the ball, he didn't pass it short to Maicon or Paulinho or whoever it was, Gustavo. He just ran forward every single time. Which Dante, and then as I mentioned, Dante's going, David, come back. This is the 14th time in 2 minutes. Get back here. Oh, it was... I'm usually not very critical of him. My opinion has always been he's a good defender, just not in England. Turns out he's not very good in Brazil either. So I can't wait to see what he does in France.
See, I'm looking at some stats for him, and I can't get the dribbling stats for him, which is what I was looking for. But he didn't miss a pass or interception all game. But you wouldn't know that, would you? Watching, like, I think
no.
I'd be amazed if they didn't all happen in the first 10 minutes.
I showed you the graphic of where he received the ball. They compare it to Dante, who's very much... He's got kind of that U shape going on, hasn't he, Dante?
Yeah.
Of where he passes the ball. David Luiz has got, like, you know when you look at the sky and you see stars in different places? That's David Luiz's map of where he received the ball. He's right wing, he's left wing, he's up front. It is one of the most bizarre performances from a captain. I know
was he captain in them?
He was captain of Brazil's national side.
I'm incredibly worried.
Playing at centre-back. And I'm not trying to be overhyping here. Will he play for Brazil again? Because that sort of tactical and discipline is the most naive thing I've ever seen from a Brazilian footballer on that kind of stage, in that kind of environment, with that much meaning as well.
I'm looking at the stats. The top pass linkages for Brazil was David Luiz to Dante, and then Luis Gustavo to David Luiz. Why did they keep passing it to him?
I don't know.
And also,
I literally don't know.
The fourth highest was Luis Gustavo to Dante. They completed 28 passes, Luis Gustavo, back to his centre-backs. In a game, they lost 7-1.
Well, Alan Hansen, I don't know if you saw a post-match, he said he was distraught. You weren't distraught, Alan. The people of Brazil were distraught. You were a little bit sad.
See, the thing is, there's 2 points that you've just made me want to bring up. The first one, you said on Twitter, thank God Adrian Charles isn't ruining this. I loved Martin Keown. It was like... he'd seen Brazil getting spanked, and he was like, "I'm gonna have a go at them here," and he was making little comments like, "Oh, Germany should declare now, 60 minutes in," and then when Oscar scores, it's like, "And there is the most pointless goal in World Cup history." You're thinking, "Calm down, Martin."
Martin Keown, I'm surprised he wasn't like he's given David Luiz a goal in this World Cup as well, so he's obviously a fan of David Luiz.
My favourite bit was the fact when they went 2-0 down and he just went, "It's over." I'm thinking, it's not over yet, Martin, when I watched it back the second time. I mean, I watched it twice. I watched it on Match of the Day to the game at 3 a.m, trying to work out what had happened, because I was as shell-shocked as the defence.
You saw after the game Scolari on the pitch kind of letting his players know, look, don't worry, I will take the rap for this. And boy, did he in the post-match press conference.
I want to believe he was saying, "We go again."
He took full responsibility is an understatement. And to be fair, I don't think he's entirely to blame. He's not remote controlling David Luiz. Small child may have been.
Was he naive in the way he set up?
I'll tell you what he said. He said, "I'll be remembered as the coach to lose 7-1, but I knew the risk when I took the job," said Scolari. Obviously, he's won a World Cup with Brazil in the past as well. The person who decided the lineup, the tactics was me. It was my choice. Now, say what you like about Scolari, but that is
ballsy.
It's a very brave thing to say because he's the Brazilian manager. However you want to look at it, he's the Brazil manager in Brazil at a Brazilian World Cup in a semi-final in which they've got pumped, and he's saying, "Let me take the blame." And I think he's doing that, one, to protect every single player on that pitch, especially players like Luiz, who have let themselves down enormously, and no one knows it more than him. Like, it's not like we're suddenly saying this and getting on his back. He knows. Like, he'll watch that back. He'll probably never watch it back. I imagine every player on that pitch in a Brazil shirt will never watch that back. It'll never be something they'll watch back.
Do you agree with Juninho when he said that he didn't think some players would ever wear the Brazil shirt again?
Yeah, I think
will players like David Luiz? I mean, David Luiz, is he too important to bring back? Because that is the worst performance I've seen by a centre back in a game.
It'll solely, in my opinion, it'll solely depend on how Thiago Silva and David Luiz are for PSG if they're indeed put together, because they've looked good between them. Those two together have looked pretty good.
Yeah.
Dante and David Luiz looks like they've never met before.
I'm worried. I mean, I felt sorry for Juninho because I bet he almost wanted to go onto the pitch.
Well, he was pretty ruthless. He said, "Look, we need to start copying the German model." And I wrote something for my A levels. I did a PE level, and it was about the development of youth football. And I wrote about Germany and said how they are so far ahead of everyone. And someone else actually did a piece on Brazil, and I remember them typing it up and showing me, and they said that Brazil, while they've had this history of great players, they haven't got a system in place. They've just been incredibly lucky, which I thought was quite funny. That they've just found kids off the street who have become world beaters. Whereas Germany puts so much focus on good players. And Juninho was kind of saying, look, this is the example we need to follow. This is what Brazil now need to do. And it's kind of the same problem that England have, as well as many other countries, that you're relying on individual talent coming through and hoping it works. Whereas Germany have got this, it's like they've got a factory of German sort of product coming through consistently. It is mind-blowing. I can't just for people that watch the game, just take a minute, sit down and just think, because honestly, that will be talked about for years. I'm still speechless now. 12 hours.
Yesterday I said it'd be 3-0, and I was trying to say something. It sounded like I was making a second guess. What I wanted to say was that whoever scored first, I thought would have the momentum and go on and win it. And in the first 11 minutes, so from kickoff till the first goal, Brazil had completed 47 of 55 passes. Germany had completed 25 of 40. And that first goal kind of gave Germany kind of the motivation, and then they got the second. And it was as if, without Thiago Silva, without Neymar, without those influential players, the Brazil team just stopped. And it was weird. I've never seen a performance like that from a professional team, to go down in the manner they did, just without even fighting. And there was just mistake after mistake for an 8-minute period. And I kind of feel like shell-shocked is an understatement.
I'm like, we've spoken about it quite a lot there, but I'm still just... You mentioned it before we started recording. I'm just in shock. Like, I just don't... No one could have seen this coming. Like, this is so unbelievable. Like this was, I said it just a moment ago. This will be talked about and remembered forever. For as long as football is a thing, this will be a thing. And every time Brazil play Germany, it'll be mentioned. Every World Cup semi-final from now on, for the rest of the tournament, it'll come up. Like, it'll just be a thing forever. And if you watched it, think about how, in a way, think about how privileged you are that you got to sit and watch the game that will be spoken about for years to come.
What was the fundamental issue there? We've talked about kind of
just
individual players.
Naive. So naive.
I think one of the big issues was the fact that Brazil, they went down, and at 2-0 down, they then tried to stop momentum. And the way they tried to stop it was by keeping the ball. And they tried to pass it round at the back, and they just kept giving the ball away. There was no link-up play with the midfield. The wide wing-backs of Brazil, they weren't willing to carry the ball. Something that Colombia have done really well. We talked about Colombia's wing-backs and how they'll, help the team in their build-up play. There was none of that. It was like Scolari had told them, right, you are defending today. And so they were just like, just pass it back to the centre-backs. You had Gustavo who would drop into the space alongside Fernandinho and pick up the ball. But there was just nothing there. Gustavo was always having to pass it backwards. Khedira, anything that came forward, he was just mopping up.
Yeah.
And it was bizarre. Like, I want to watch it back and take notes and see what went wrong, but it was just like everything. It was just it was like a catastrophic failure. Like imagine Brazil was a plane. It was like the engine just stopped mid-flight, and it was just free fall.
For me, Germany, like I said it, I thought it on about 70 minutes, I think it was. I thought Brazil don't look, obviously they were getting absolutely hammered at this point anyway, but the Germans just looked so fit. They looked like they could carry on for another extra time. They were like, yeah, bring extra time. We'll play for another half an hour. We'll make it 14-0. It was just, I've never seen I've seen Germany, and you hear about German sides gone by, just being this absolute demonic machine, just forcing themselves onto other teams, making it so difficult, just starving them of oxygen on a football pitch. And yesterday it was the first time I've seen live a German side go to town on a world nation, like a big team, a big World Cup team like Brazil as well. To do it against, you can't stop saying it, can you? It was against Brazil at a Brazilian World Cup.
Well, you predicted a close game here. Yeah, closer game.
Right.
It's the biggest margin at a World Cup semi-final.
It is just incredible.
Brazil's biggest defeat in a World Cup final. I mean, the amount of records that's been broken, I could give you facts, but you've probably heard them all. Shall we go
to Twitter? I'm not even sure what to do.
I feel like I've lost the plot. I don't know.
Was that a pun? I can't work it out anymore.
No, it wasn't. I'm just using obscure language to. I can't quite fathom what happened. I mean, it was just awful. And it wasn't as if Germany created a load of chances and they dominated the game, kind of how you'd expect a Barcelona back, kind of 4 years ago to dominate a game, but they just hold on to the ball. It was just, they were so clinical. It was like Holland against Spain. I mean, people went on about that Holland v Spain and said, this is the historic game. This is the game that this World Cup will be remembered for.
Up until yesterday.
What happened? I don't know. Where am I? Go to Twitter. What do they have to say? Right. What was the question? So
I asked, David Luiz clearly didn't do a very good job at centre-back last night. What job, we used this on Rooney earlier in the World Cup, but what job do you think he'd do best? For people that wrote anything Simpson related, I'm just going to not mention it. Alan said it'd be a very good mop, which I just like. I like the thought of David Luiz being turned upside down and used as a mop.
He even has little water dispensers when he cries.
Leave it out. Martin, similar vein, said he could be a brush, like a paintbrush. Yeah. I'm all for that. There's some more Simpsons ones. Adam just put village idiot, which I just quite like. Impersonating Ronald McDonald. Professional Cilla Black impersonator.
I don't see it.
That was Scott Fitzpatrick. Some more Simpsons ones. I'm trying to feed myself through the Simpsons ones, I've got to be honest. We also asked this question on Facebook, Jack, today.
Did anyone reply on Facebook?
I've not. I shall go and take a look.
If you haven't already, For The Fans Show, facebook.com/ForTheFans Show. Go like us. I know not everyone has Twitter. I know not everyone has YouTube. But if you can like us on Facebook, everyone has a Facebook. Tell your nan about us. Let her know. Nana, I've been watching this World Cup podcast. It's these two British geezers. They talk about football. Sometimes they don't talk very much about football, and they'll talk about baking.
I'm not a geezer. I'm a gentleman of football.
He's a gentleman of football. In brackets, geezer. What did Facebook say?
Facebook have not answered. Do you know why? Because we need more people to like the page.
So go do it.
I've already said if we get 1,000 likes on the Facebook page, we'll give away a DVD. I've got a stack over here.
We're never going to get... Are we going to do a jackpot for the final? Where it's just one score prediction and you get 5 DVDs if you get it right?
No, definitely not. The postage would be obscene. Right then. So there's another game today, Jack.
I was trying to think of a job for David Luiz, but I can't think of one.
Don't worry about it. Just he's unemployed.
I don't think
anyway.
He's going to need counselling after that. Like, I'm being deadly serious. Like, some of those players, like, what do they do? It's like losing 7-1 is demoralising in any game whatsoever. Losing 7-1 in a World Cup semi-final on the world stage at home.
We can't stop saying it. It makes me appreciate the fact that Lucas and Coutinho didn't get called up. Anyway, imagine that. So anyway, the Netherlands face Argentina in what is it's a bit of a romantic tale. They met in '99, and when Bergkamp did that thing that we all liked, I think Batistuta was a star of that World Cup as well. Oh, Gabriel Batistuta, what a man! Now we have to do with David Luiz's hair, not the same. So, in terms of team news, the Netherlands maybe without Robin van Persie. He's got a stomach complaint. I don't know what that is. Maybe he threw up at the sight of.
I want to believe his stomach's just talking. It's like moaning. It's like that belly's going to get you a TV advert. Just his stomach moaning about stuff.
Unbelievably, Nigel de Jong, who many thought was out of the World Cup, we all thought his World Cup was over, may have recovered from a groin injury. So we may see him feature at some point. He's not been sent home, so there's a small chance he could play. Angel Di Maria, he's out, but he may return for the final if they make it. Well, actually, there's a third place, and then they may play in that.
There is.
Sergio Aguero, though, is back, and Marcus Rojo will return after his ban. Aside from that, the Dutch may miss out with Ron Vlaar and Leroy Fer, but they will probably be in the squad. It seems a bit anticlimactic to talk about a game that hasn't happened yet after what we saw last night, but what do you see happening in this one after yesterday's game?
Well, I wanted kind of a Brazil-Argentina final. I said that, but I did predict a Germany win. I kind of have a sneaking suspicion that I don't know. And usually with football, there's some format or something to go off. But after yesterday's game, after the fact that Holland could not break down Costa Rica because Argentina are only winning every game by 1 goal, I have no idea. I'm just going to sit here. I'm just going to sit here. I mean, I might as well be daily blind. I don't have a clue. That didn't make sense. I tried.
Awful. Your puns today. Some of them should be edited out. I think that Argentina
so cruel.
I think Argentina will win on penalties because it'll be 0-0, everyone. It'll be a very boring game. I wouldn't even watch it if I were you. I'd stay away. Do you see what I'm doing?
Yeah, I see.
Yeah, it'll be 0-0. It'll probably go to penalties, but we'll all be in bed by then because of how bored we were. This is going to work. This is bound to work. After what's happened in the past, this is bound to work.
Genius.
Thank you. So the Netherlands face Argentina. I do think, if I'm going to be a little bit serious for a second, I do think that Argentina will get to the final. I would just love Messi to win it. It's getting so close now that Messi could potentially crown his kind of accomplishments in world football with a World Cup win in Brazil for Argentina. It would be so good.
Don't be that guy who backs Messi. He's not going to get a goal.
You're making a Mascherano with this. I don't know where we go. What has happened to us?
Let's go into the action. It's getting a little bit messy, the show format now, isn't it?
I don't know.
Should we just stop? Should we just sit here? Should we do a Brazil defence and just stop? Right, that's the show. No.
Right.
I don't know where.
The question mark will be, will Tim Krul play? He obviously was the hero of the last game. Will he get his game? I don't think he will. I think they'll continue to play with their other keeper, whose name escapes me. I'm all over the place this morning. I'm all over the place.
I'm a little bit kind of thinking to myself, is Louis van Gaal going to make any really ballsy decisions again? Because I have a feeling he might to pay for them if he does. Oh, God, I'm sorry.
Is this ever going to
You'll
stop?
warm to the puns eventually, Ben.
This has gone too far.
Oh, God.
Thank you. Right, no, this is enough. Get your score predictions in. We're giving away DVDs. I'm not even bothering. You've ruined this bit. Get your score predictions in. DVDs to be won. If you've not been part of the discussion so far, I'm gonna mention all the DVDs. So I've got stuff like England 5, Germany 1. Remember when we battered a team ridiculously? Goals, games, gaffs and galore, whatever it is. Adrian Charles' DVD. The 2003 Rugby World Cup final is available. Goal 1, Destination Germany, Lovejoy and Redknapp. We've not mentioned that one yet. That's one of those sort of compilation DVDs, but it is Lovejoy and Redknapp, so feel free not to want that one. You're in with a chance of winning any one of those. If you're from the UK, you will be eligible to win the prize. But if you're not, feel free to have a guess anyway. We want the score predictions in. All he needs is the score. If it goes to extra time, we just need the score. So if you want to say 0-0, that counts.
You can submit your answers on Twitter, YouTube, or Facebook.com/ForTheFans Show.
Yeah, if you're not already, subscribe on iTunes. Please rate the show if you're listening on there. Like the video on... Well, I don't know why you would today. It's been a fucking shambles. Sorry,
what? The puns. The puns have been gorgeous.
Is that a pun?
No, it's not. Don't worry. There was quite a lot of puns to do today. It was
you've let us know about them all. What have you done to today's show?
Well, it started off quite serious. It started off with just being shell shocked.
Is he a player? Right. was that an attempt?
No, it wasn't.
Okay, so on Twitter I'm taking over. Don't say another word for the rest of the show until it's goodbye. We're on Twitter @ForTheFans Show. We're on iTunes For The Fans. Type it in, you'll find us. We're on the front page of all the audio podcasts. youtube.com/ForTheFans Show. Facebook.com For The Fans Show. We're going to be doing different things on different platforms, so get on them all. Like I say, we're even read DVD at 1,000 likes. Okay, we'll end today's show there. I can't believe Jack stayed quiet for so long. From me, Ben, and my co-host Jack.
Hi. See you later, guys. Thank you for watching.
Listening, all that.
Yeah, doing all that jazz. I don't know where I am now. I'm trying to think of more puns.
Shut up. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you very much for watching. I'm out. I quit For The Fans.